gave him everything. I was half a virgin when I met him.
You want to do something fun? You want to go to Taco Bell?
I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all-carb diet. God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Twenty-first century comedy is easy to brush off as repetitive, formulaic, and lazy. While I can agree with this statement to a certain extent, I feel as though this era of filmmaking has come through with a few gems in the comedy genre, gems that are often overlooked as being just another dumb comedy. I would argue the 2004 hit Mean Girls, directed by Mark Waters, is one of them. I look at Mean Girls as much more than a dumb high school comedy, not because it isn't that. It's about as high school as it gets, and the plot itself is nothing to write home about. I look at it as a gem because of how quotable and memorable it has remained till this day. I believe there truly is something to say about the delivery of the lines and the lines themselves, and how those two aspects of the comedy are done in a much more innovative and unique way. What I often see 21st century comedies lack is a sense of necessity. When I say necessity, I'm saying a sense of reason for why such a film or such a joke is being told. Lines that come out of some of these films can be told in a stand-up bit, a television series, or even a social setting, and still get across that humor that they're meant to give off. To me, when this is the case, I feel as though the actual visuals and story surrounding the joke feel all the more pointless, and to a certain extent, detached from such a joke. Back to the original idea. Mean Girls feels necessary every time a joke is told. This is incredibly important, and part of the reason for why the film's lines remain as memorable as they do today for a few reasons. Let's take a pretty basic line like this one, for example.
Nice wig, Janice. What's it made of?
Your mom's chest hair. I'm Janet.
If we were to put this line in, let's say, Superbad or Elf or any other 21st century comedy, it'd sort of still be funny but not nearly as hilarious and memorable as it does in this film. By building the characters, the setting, and the situation around this line, we get a much more vivid sense of where this line comes from when it's brought up again. We're in an already incredibly sarcastic situation with Caddy trying to fit into high school, we have a memorable looking character like Janice delivering this line, and we're in a high school setting which at this point in the film seems so horrible and tense that the audience is just waiting for something absurd to break the uncomfortable vibe. Take all of these aspects that go into the delivery of such a joke, and you get an unexpected, rewarding, and hilariously memorable line that still fits into the movie. This case happens just about every time a joke is told. What makes the film so quotable and memorable is of course partially because of the lines themselves, but also because of how they're portrayed visually. Throughout the film, Mean Girls uses African settings as a way of describing how high school relationships come across to the outside world and how serious they can become. I'm not going to be pretentious and say there's an overlying meaning to why they use such an analogy throughout the film, because I truly don't believe it's that deep. I do, although, think this choice was incredibly important and definitely necessary. By doing so, we automatically affiliate each joke with some type of visual. This unexpected yet totally understandable cut allows the audience to not only laugh at themselves for getting just a tiny bit wrapped up and engaged in the fights, but it also separates this high school film from others. A comedy could have some of the funniest lines delivered, some of the best actors, and still not achieve the memorable quality that films like Mean Girls possess due to their lack in visual use. Comedy in film is so popular because watching a joke is more enjoyable, memorable, and engaging than listening to one. And when high school films boil down into all looking the same and giving off the same delivery, the jokes lose their connection to the film and act on their own. Comedies are easy to blend together because of the fact that jokes often stand alone. It's films like Mean Girls that are able to blend the jokes, the visuals, and the story seamlessly that make it one of a kind and one of the most enjoyable comedies of this era. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, go watch a movie, and thank you for watching.